Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you are. So I am sitting out in nature because it makes me feel more relaxed making these videos, which I'm learning to love to do because I get to share my experiences with all of you and my knowledge. So what I was thinking about was, have you ever thought about who you could have become or who you could become if you believed in yourself, if you thought you were worthy, if you were confident? Every single day you lived like that? For as long as I can remember, I've gotten a lot better with self-worth and confidence. But since I was younger, I didn't have that confidence. I was always hard on myself. I always did amazing. I always put my heart into everything that I did, but I never thought it was good enough. And this was a consistent belief that I held that had matching behaviors with that belief. For example, if somebody said, "Oh wow, what a great job," my matching behavior to my belief would be like, I don't know, I feel like I could have done better. You know? And so this just became my baseline belief about myself. For whatever the reason, it doesn't really matter anymore, at least. And I feel like a lot of us run on this autopilot belief that we created long time ago about ourselves and even the people around us, mainly to do with ourselves first, because everything outside of us just is a reflection of what's going on within ourselves. And so I want to ask you, have you ever thought about who you could be if every single day you could believe in yourself? If every single day, for the most part, you were on fire. You know how sometimes you get inspired and you get like a surge of energy through your body, but then it just goes away? What if you could have that like every day? Well, it all starts from within. And for myself, a long time ago, I don't know if it was Eckhart Tolle. He was an author, motivational speaker, I don't know what else, but he taught me about observing my mind and my thoughts, how I react to situations myself. And I can tell you that once you start to be the watcher of yourself, of the preconditioned program that you have going on inside, instead of running on autopilot, although I still ran on autopilot, it took me a while. You have to understand it's a process, right, of becoming more aware of all the layers of our being. And the first layer, I would say, is becoming aware that you can become the watcher of your thoughts and that you are not your thoughts and they are just preconditioned autopilot, an autopilot dialogue that's going on within yourself that was created a long time ago, and is consistently reaffirmed and confirmed through external experiences. So my point is that no matter where you came from, no matter what you went through, although I can only speak from my own experience and a few others that that I have seen have gone through something themselves, is that you might have been conditioned to believe something about yourself, but you can break that pattern. And although it might be hard at first, because it's so conditioned in your body to believe that you're no good, that you're not good enough, you can slowly start to reprogram your body and your mind and your beliefs. But it all starts with becoming aware of those negative thoughts and those negative beliefs that you have about yourself. And one thing that I've done to kind of help me become aware of these preconditioned ways of thinking and being has been taking note of them, writing in my journal, reflecting on them, talking about them out loud to myself. I can give you an example. There was this one thing that I noticed, or one thought that would come up in my mind whenever I made a mistake. And it was, you're such a fucking idiot. You're such a fucking idiot. Like, it was just like this pre-programmed thing in my mind that would always happen. And I never realized it until I realized it. And I was like, wow, that's pretty mean. So once I started to recognize that pattern with my mind, and sorry, side note, what I want to mention is that how is that thought going to make you feel? Right? Like, if you're my friend and you messed up, you made a mistake, and I told you, wow, John, you're such a fucking idiot. Wow. Like, wow, I would be such a shitty friend. But really what that means is deep down that I'm feeling shitty and now I'm projecting my shittiness onto you. But anyway, obviously it's going to make you feel terrible, and obviously you wouldn't speak to your friend like that. Although we have had some friends or parents or caregivers that have spoken to us like this, which that's another story. But on a real note, we don't want to talk like that to our friends. So why are we talking like that to ourselves? It is making us, it's confirming our belief, our already conditioned belief within us, and reaffirming it, and we're feeling the feelings of feeling like crap, right? And then our energy decreases and we feel, even our body just kind of goes in like this, and we want to, I know for me, whenever I feel bad and start to have anxiety, my form in my body doesn't expand like this. It kind of like goes inside because it doesn't feel good. So anyways, my point is that when I became aware of this thought, I would interrupt the thought when it did happen, and I would talk to myself. And I do this all the time, actually. I interrupt myself with my conscious mind, and so say my thoughts would say, "Oh wow, you're such a fucking idiot," and then I would stop and I'd speak out loud to myself. I'd be like, "Wow, Kylie, that's pretty harsh. That's pretty mean. How about we tried our best? And if we want to do better next time, we're going to work on that." Right? So like interrupting that pre-programmed belief or that thought about yourself. And the more you do it, right, the more that you will reprogram yourself. So my point is, if you could live every single day believing in yourself completely, on fire, thinking of creative ideas, creating, traveling, like whatever it is that your heart desires, if you could do that every day, wouldn't that be amazing? And you can change that. You can start changing that today. It doesn't happen overnight, I can tell you, based on my own journey. Sorry, the sun is beating hard today. I love it, but my forehead's hurting. It's a process. I mean, I've been doing this for years, reprogramming, reconditioning my pre-programmed, conditioned beliefs and thoughts that came from childhood, that came from my environment. I wasn't aware of all of these things. I mean, one thing that I was aware of growing up was that there's got to be more to this. The people in my environment growing up were always sad, always scared, living in fear, living in lack. And I latched onto that energy, but there was also a part of me that knew, in my mid-teens, I'm like, there's got to be something more to this. This can't be what life is about. Like, is life like I understand there's like, challenge and struggle and like hard times, it's a part of life, but is that solely why we're here, just to struggle? I mean, I noticed that there was beautiful things in life, and thankfully I had, nature, or like I loved art, or I danced, like certain things growing up, like I saw beauty. And so again, my point is that why not try to start to become aware of what's going on within you, aware of your being, instead of living your life on autopilot and continuously feeling like shit all the time, or having external things in your environment trigger this feeling of lack, trigger this feeling of unworthiness. I am on a journey, I've been on a journey of taking back my power, of embracing all of me, and trying to be in control, reprogramming my own belief about myself, and knowing my worth, because every single person on this planet is worthy, has a gift, is unique, is all from source God. You know, we're all here for a reason, we're all connected. Everything, I mean, we're all here for a reason, and we're all a part of all of it. Animals, nature, life. You're here breathing. So, again, if you could live every single day feeling the greatest version of you, start now. Start by taking small steps and becoming aware of your internal dialogue, your beliefs. And if you start to acknowledge that you have some dark shit going on there, don't be afraid. Don't judge it, right? You can turn all of this around. You just need to start to become aware. And then as soon as one layer of awareness within your being and your energy field becomes aware, and you focus on that and you practice that and you embody that awareness, then another layer of awareness will expand, and you'll keep on expanding. The key is to stop avoiding, stop ignoring, stop hiding. I've done a lot of that. And it really doesn't get you anywhere, but further into your anxiety and your fear and your lack. And it might be scared at first. It might be scary at first to kind of step out and do something different. But it's always scary to do something different. And then as soon as you do it, you're like, what was I afraid of? Anyway, that's my rant for today. I hope I helped somebody, because that's my point. And I hope you guys have a great day.